Live from Carborough, it's the Chris or Jenny Show, starring Jess Klein on WCOM.
Good evening, friends. What's up, Jess?
How's it going?
Good. Can you hear yourself?
With member.
Welcome, folks. It is the Chris or Jenny Show Friday nights, and no Deej tonight, but he might show up. You never know. He might show up. He might call. Nobody knows. I never know what he's going to do. Here we are. Ladies and gentlemen, let's just welcome her in. Incredible singer-songwriter that I'm so pumped to have on my show, Jess Klein.
Thank you so
Woo!
much.
Oh, wait, you need the audience. Oh, you're used to hearing the audience. Hold on.
That works.
So
Thanks.
you've never been at the Art Center?
No, I went there once. There was like a song circle where people were sharing songs like in the lobby, but I've never
performed there?
Never performed there, no.
Okay, that will be rectified, my friend.
Okay.
They're looking, well, actually, they're moving around the block,
Oh, okay.
the Art Center, to a different space, and they're looking for someone to book their talent for them.
Oh, great. Okay.
And that's kind of been something I've been wanting to get into, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's a possibility for the future.
Excellent.
And here's my list of performers that I'm trying to get right here. I got it right here. So number 1, Run DMC. But number 2 is Jess Klein. So you're right there.
Okay, well, if Run can't make it.
If Run came, or if they can, I might have you open for them.
Great. That sounds perfect.
Residing in Hillsborough.
That's right.
But where are you from? Like up north, maybe?
Yeah, I'm from Rochester, New York.
How did you find Hillsborough, North Carolina, Jess?
It's a long, convoluted story.
Well, we got all night, so, you know.
Well, the short version is before we moved here, my husband and I were living in Austin, Texas.
Good town.
Yeah. It had gotten kind of very expensive and crowded, and so we were looking for somewhere we could move that would be a little more low-key but still really valuing music and musicians, and we had a lot of friends in this area and music fans and stuff, so we kind of just took a chance. We rented a house on Craigslist.
It's like sight unseen?
No, well, we had a friend go look at it.
Okay.
I mean, we were able to see pictures, but we just went for it, and we love it.
And that was about 3 years ago?
It was actually 6 years ago, but, 2 of them were taken up by pandemic, so.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Weird timing, of course. So you get to Hillsborough from Austin, I get it. Austin is a great place for a music career, but I can see the the inverse curve of expensive and hard to live there.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
Right. Are you starting to feel that in Hillsborough? Because Hillsborough's changed and grown.
Yeah, I know. I mean, no, we feel very lucky. We moved into this house. We rented it, and then we were in a position to buy a house, and we asked the owner, our landlord, if she was looking to sell it, and it was a price that worked for us. So we're very lucky. We love our house, and we're okay.
That's fantastic. I feel the exact same way. So we live in Carborough. We live about 2 miles that way.
Oh, okay.
Not far at all. And we bought our house about 9 or 10 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
I would not be able to afford our house today.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
We got into our house.
Yeah.
Jess Klein is a singer, guitar player. I feel like I saw you play bass in a video once. Is that correct, or was that?
Yep. No, I play bass with Jonathan Bird.
Yeah.
We just started doing that a few months ago.
Jonathan Bird is how I first heard about you. I had him on the show.
Oh, okay.
And he was just singing your praises.
Oh.
Just like a couple months ago.
Amazing. Okay.
And I was like, all right, well, I got to get her on here. So if my math is correct, that makes 4 bands that you're in.
Yeah, I think that's right.
There's Jess Klein.
Yep.
Solo act. There's the Halfbacks.
Yep.
Great name, by the way. And then the Berlin Brothers, which is like a jazz
Yep. That's
outfit.
a jazz standards project.
And now you play with Jonathan.
Yes.
Okay, walk me through that, though. I mean, how do you decide, how do gigs work out? How does that all work when you're with a bunch of different bands?
Well, for me, my solo stuff is always going to kind of be my top priority.
Number one.
Because I've been doing that the longest time, and I've poured my heart and soul into that for a few decades now.
Yeah, and your music is beautiful, by the way.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm excited to play some of it tonight.
Thank you. The Halfbacks is a project with my husband, Mike June, also a songwriter, and you'd think that would have sort of this project post-dated our being married. We were married for several years before we dipped our toes into playing music
What came
together.
first, the marriage or the band?
The marriage, luckily. But yeah, we've been collaborating, and I mean, I feel really lucky to be able to do all these different things, and also feel like living here has given me some freedom to just have a little more time because things are not as expensive as they were for us in Austin. So
my nephew just moved there, and I can see lots of pros and lots of cons. Yeah, I get it. And then, that's the Halfback. Oh, great name, by the way. Is someone a soccer fan or a football fan? Or?
Well, we are football fans, but
American football.
Yeah.
Okay.
American football.
Yeah.
But my husband kind of came up with that off the cuff because I think it's also a term for people who spend half the year in Florida and then go back north. And our parents live in Florida, so it's let's just call ourselves this for now.
Multiple meanings.
Yeah.
I clarify that because I'm big into soccer.
Okay.
But I also like football, American football. So that's why I did. But who do you all follow? Or?
Well, I grew up in Rochester, New York, and that's Buffalo Bills territory.
Okay.
But my mom was hardcore into the Miami Dolphins, who are the rivals of the Buffalo Bills. So she became the president of the local Miami Dolphins fan club until she found out that they were meeting in a bar where there was smoking. And then she was like, I'm out.
What year are we talking?
I think it was the 80s. I don't know.
Okay, all right.
I don't know.
In the 80s, where every bar you walked into, you had to part the clouds of smoke to get in. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
So I kind of grew up like a Dolphins fan, and I don't, I'm not really following it that much now.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
And why do the Bills, the Bills that's the coldest environment I can imagine.
Right.
And the Dolphins are the hottest environment I can imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, Local 506, we were just talking before the show, we were talking about venues. I personally, folks, am blown away that Jess Klein has not played the Art Center yet. That will be rectified.
Okay.
You will be playing at the Art Center in less than a year.
Great.
But Local 506, the rock club down the road, the owner, Rob Walsh, is a Buffalo Bills fan. That's all.
Oh, okay.
That's my only connection to that.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not a Bills fan myself. So.
Sorry, Rob.
Yeah, sorry, Rob.
He was just getting ready to have you headline there for 3 nights, but he just heard that comment. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, I say a lot of dumb things on the show. All right, and then totally different from those two, your solo work and the Halfbacks work, is the Berlin Brothers.
Yeah.
Where you are a kind of a swanky jazz. I mean, it's really cool, folks. I'll post a couple things on our Facebook group.
Yeah. Well, when we moved to Hillsborough, a friend of mine invited me to this Christmas show that was happening at the Arts Mill.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
like a big, event space.
Yeah.
And I walked in, and there's this like 20-piece band with a horn section and a choir and like a harpist and a great rhythm section and some great singers. And I was like, what is this? What is this thing? And
You're
it
like,
was the
"Oh."
Berlin Brothers. It's my friend William Dawson.
Yeah.
Puts together these shows, and my friend introduced me to him, and he was like, oh, we didn't know each other. He's like, sure, you can come sing a song at this show that we're doing. And then we just started working together more, and he was like, do you want to do just like a jazz gig sometimes? I was like, sure, I'll give it a shot. And, my mom used to play a lot of Ella Fitzgerald, that one of those duet albums with Ella Fitzgerald and Louis Armstrong. Like, I listened to it a lot growing up, and I just always loved those songs. And so the chance to sing them backed by great musicians, it's like really fun. It's just,
Oh my
I don't have to think about
gosh.
it,
It's so neat. And so my guess would be that they play a lot. Are they like a big Christmas draw?
Yeah, we do. There's like a big Christmas show, and then we often do shows at the Blue Note Grill
In Durham.
Mhm.
The Blue Note Grill in Durham.
Yeah.
Great place.
Yeah.
A place that has survived all of the growth of Durham, and the Blue Note's just been right there.
Yeah, we love the Blue Note.
I dig the Blue Note. How did you come across Jonathan Byrd in the first place?
We actually were put on tour together back in 2006. I think our managers knew each other or something, and they sent me to tour with him in Texas to open for him. And, he's amazing, and we hit it off. And then when Mike and I moved here, I saw that he was playing in saxophone. We went to go see his show, and after the show I was like, hey, I don't know if you remember me, my name's Jess Klein. And he was like, oh my God, what are you doing here? And I said, we live here now. So we just gradually started collaborating. And back in February we did a little live stream together, and right before the show he was like, do you want to try playing a bass line on this song of mine? I was like, okay, I don't play bass. But he was like, here, this is how you play it. I was like, okay. And then after the show he said, do you want to be my bass player?
What? Wait, so you haven't
happened.
been playing bass for years and years?
No, I didn't own a bass, and
Oh
I've
my
never played
goodness.
bass before.
And you're like, by the way, I'm in 3 bands, but I guess I could be in 4.
Right. Yeah. So
Oh,
I was
my.
like, oh man, now I really have to learn how to play, because he's not like a schlep. I have to really figure out how to do this.
He's tremendous.
Yeah.
He has beautiful songs as well. And his song Minor project is really cool.
Yeah.
Do you guys collaborate on any writing?
We're actually going to be teaching a songwriting workshop together in Hillsborough in August.
Ah, here we go.
Yeah.
Let's plug it.
Yeah, August 13th and 14th.
August 13th and 14th in Hillsborough,
It's at the Arts Mill.
It's
sponsored by the Orange County Arts Commission.
The Orange County Arts Commission. That sounds fantastic. So what do people just sign up, show up for the day? It's like a workshop?
It's a 2-day workshop. So it's going to be, most of Saturday we'll kind of start off, get people writing right away. And then we'll do a little, both Jonathan and I will talk about some different sort of tips and guidance and stuff. And then the afternoon, people get a little free writing time, and then in the evening, people can play what they've been working on and get feedback. And I've done that with him before virtually. We haven't done one in person yet. So this will be
What
the
do you
first one.
expect as far as the type of person that's going to sign up? Are you envisioning, folks like in their 40s and 50s that want to scratch an itch that they've had for decades, or are you envisioning up and coming songwriters, or all the above? Like, what can you imagine it's going to be like?
Well, it's open to all levels of writers.
But what do you think? Who actually signs up for something like this?
I think it's a mix, honestly. Yeah, when I've taught songwriting workshops before, it's always been a mix of people. There's like people who've done some professional stuff and people who are just like...
That's not your car alarm, by the way, is it?
No, I don't think my car is equipped with an alarm. It's kind of an old beat-up car. Yeah.
Sorry, keep going. And then I got a funny car. Oh, let me tell you one quick thing. My wife's car now, it's so old and crappy, but it's like it still runs really well.
Yeah.
I learned today that she can roll down her window, but not the other 3 windows of the car. And of course, it's 110 degrees outside.
Oh,
and so we no longer have the ability in one of our cars to roll down the windows of the other.
That doesn't seem good.
That's not great. But anyway, so you're just expecting just kind of all the above at the thing?
Yeah.
Oh,
And
my
it's
gosh.
good because it's great for people who are new to songwriting or they haven't done it professionally to get that kind of, just to watch other people's process and get some feedback. And
That's so cool. So we'll hit the plugs again at the end, but
Okay.
just in August in Hillsborough. And I'm sorry if you said the location I didn't hear.
That's okay. It's at the Arts
Oh,
Mill.
you said that, the Eno Arts Mill.
Yeah.
I love that place.
Yeah, me too.
We're heavy on the Eno Arts Mill tonight. It's been 10 minutes. We've talked about them 3 times.
That's right.
My love, all that noise is a little white dove in my pocket, take it from me. Otherwise I'm gonna set that little dove free. Hearts break, birds fly, la-dee-da-lie. Hearts break, birds fly, they fly. Well, I know, you've been bit by mean old crow. Carried your heart off in his beak. So what's in your mouth, baby? Come on, talk to me. Oh, hearts break, birds fly, la-dee-da-lie. Hearts break, birds fly, la-dee-da-lie. Hearts break, birds fly, they fly. Last night, underneath the moonlight, I asked the owl what to do. He said you only need a love that's true. So hearts break, birds fly, la-dee-da-lie. Hearts break, birds fly. So my love, all that noise is a little white dove in my pocket, take it from me, yeah. Otherwise I'm gonna set that little dove free, yeah. Otherwise I'm gonna set that little dove free. Free, yeah. Free, yeah. Free.
That is Jess Klein, folks. That's a fantastic song.
Thank you.
Is it weird to sit here and hear your songs played back to you on the radio?
That's
What's-
a really old version, so yeah, that was a little strange.
But describe that sensation of sitting here and hearing yourself. Or are you used to it? Do you ever get used to it?
Yeah, you do kind of. I mean, you get
Yeah.
used to it. Yeah, just try and tune out.
But now you're on WCOM, Jess. So, okay, you've never, we were talking about venues earlier. And again, you've only been here a couple of years. Have you played anywhere in Scarborough?
I've played the Cradle a couple times.
Cat's Cradle. I should have guessed that.
And
Of course.
that might be it though. That might be the only place in
Uh,
Scarborough. I
the
played
fr-
at Local 506.
Local 506
Yeah.
with Buffalo Bills owner Rob Walsh.
Right.
He's the dude with the long blonde hair who works the soundboard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
great.
he's like a fixture
Right.
at that place.
Right.
And then Fridays on the Front Porch you would be good at. But speaking of Jonathan Bird and Scarborough, so are you signed up for the Scarborough Music Festival?
No.
You didn't get into that?
Mm-mm.
They've had this awesome music festival for decades here in Scarborough.
Yeah.
And for the longest time, they never paid the musicians.
Oh,
We've had, and I'm sure this is a hot button for you. Jonathan and I talked about it for half an hour.
wow.
And finally this year, and he was a big part of it, they finally agreed to pay, and not to make it sound like they're all the bad guys, but you have to pay the artists.
Right.
And they never did. And they finally made an agreement. This year, 2022's Scarborough Music Festival will be the first one that the bands are finally getting paid. But you're not playing it. Oh, I guess you're in 4 bands. You probably don't have time.
I didn't really know that much about it, but maybe next year.
Not on your radar.
Mm-mm.
Where do you play in Hillsborough?
When we play as the Halfbacks, that's my husband, Mike June, and I, we play once a month at the Nash Street Tavern the first Sunday of every month.
The first Sunday of every month,
Mhm.
Nash Street Tavern. I have been there for a few shows,
Yeah,
and I'm excited to come there and see you guys.
Cool.
Yeah, first
Yeah.
Sunday of every month. I like
Yeah.
that little area.
we love it. And
Yeah.
then we're also, they have Last Fridays in Hillsborough. Last Friday, we're going to do July 29th, which is
Mhm.
next Friday. We'll be at the Colonial Inn.
I saw the Colonial Inn, this amazing old hotel
Yeah,
right in downtown Hillsborough
yeah.
that sat dilapidated for decades and decades.
Yes.
And then they tried this, they tried that. Okay. I haven't been there, but from the outside, it just looks awesome.
Yeah.
And you're performing there.
Yeah.
Yeah, this would
Yeah.
be. So July 29th, the Colonial Inn.
They did a really beautiful job renovating it, and the
Yeah.
shows are out in the courtyard, so they have, rows and rows of chairs set up. and
Oh,
a
we're
little-
coming to that.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
We're not allowed to proactively tell the fans to come to your show,
Oh, okay.
but I found a little loophole. I'm going to say don't quietly, and then much louder, I'm going to say come to the show. So check it out. That's my FCC loophole.
There you go.
Okay. Don't come to the Colonial Inn July 29th. Jess Klein and the Halfbacks. Is it Jess Klein and the Halfbacks or
It's
just the Halfbacks?
It's just the
Mike,
Halfbacks.
we're renaming it.
Yeah.
Come on, Mike. Come on, Mike. You know who the talented. No, I'm just kidding. He's very talented
He
too.
is
I'm
very
just
talented,
joking.
yeah.
I'm just messing around. So you went to college in Jamaica?
I did a semester of college in Kingston, Jamaica.
That is incredibly unique.
Yeah.
Give me some details. What's that all about?
I was lucky enough to be able to do a semester abroad, and I was a women's studies major, and the
Yeah.
options were London or Kingston, Jamaica, and I was like, definitely Kingston.
Yeah, I was going to say, you hear like kind of London, like
Yeah.
you don't think of Jamaica when you think of foreign exchange.
Right.
So you're there for a semester.
Yeah.
Give the average person like what are the biggest? What's the cafeteria like? I mean,
Well,
what are the differences?
Yeah, the program was through a school called the School for International Training, so it was very intense academically. We had classes like 6 hours a day or something like that. And
Yeah.
then the woman who ran it was just like this incredible Jamaican, like she had been an activist and she just knew these people sort of from all walks of life, like government officials and
Yeah.
artists and nurses and people, and we just kind of like got a very broad understanding of Jamaica, the good and the bad, like everything.
Yeah.
Sort of, it was an incredible experience. It changed my life. It's where I started writing songs.
So you were literally there about 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
And do you live in a dorm or a host family?
A
or-
host family. Yeah.
What were they like?
They were really cool. They're really interesting. It was like the dad he was an air conditioning salesman, and the mom was a nurse. So they were doing pretty well because air conditioning is like big.
That's a big business.
In a tropical country. But it was really amazing. They let me. Their daughter was off in New York City, I think, in college. So I got her bedroom. And
Interesting.
I had a lot of time on my own, and that's when I started learning how to play guitar. I taught myself
Really?
guitar.
Just because you were kind of like, bored's not the right word, but just time on your own.
Yeah,
Like you said.
time to myself in a new place. I was having a lot of new experiences and
Yeah.
like learning a lot, and just going from being like, this is my first time I think out of the country on my own. It was my first time like as a white suburban kid from upstate New York in
Yeah.
a majority black country, and the music just seemed like it was everywhere. Language sounded very musical to me. People were very like supportive. Just like an incredible place to be, and
Yeah, I bet.
at that age, just
Yeah.
it was amazing.
That's
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah. So the music's just all around you.
It felt that way to
And you
me.
kind of have no choice but to get into it. Kinda.
Yeah. It was great.
And interesting. So the host family's daughter was off in New York,
Yeah,
roughly your age.
I think so. Yeah,
And was that their only child?
I think they had 2 daughters. I don't remember too
Yeah.
well. Yeah,
Well,
so
we-
they kind of took me in like as
Yeah.
their substitute daughter.
No, I think it's cool. No,
Yeah.
so we just have one daughter, my wife and I, Jess. who's getting ready to be in 4th grade. And I'm just like, and we live 2 miles from UNC. I'm sure they have foreign students all the time.
Yeah.
That's something we thought about. That's why I'm interested in it.
It was an amazing experience for me as a student.
You have some songs with some flair that maybe was inspired by that, or
Yeah, I have a song called Soda Water that I'm going
to play next.
Okay.
Yeah.
I actually wrote that after listening to an Farka Touré album a lot. He has an album called Talkin' Timbuktu, and the last track on the album is called Diarabe, and that's a traditional song form from Mali, the country of Mali.
Yeah.
And so it does sound like a reggae song, but it was based on, there's some lineage, there's like a connection there, but it was several years later, so I don't know that it was like directly came from my experience in Jamaica.
Yeah. What is the prevailing sport in Jamaica?
Oh,
Do they love?
man, that's a good question.
Yeah.
I don't know if I was paying much attention at the time.
Well,
to
what other things just were interesting there that we wouldn't notice here in Hillsborough or Scarborough?
So much. I mean, first of all, the food is the best food.
Yeah.
I think the best food in the world.
Really?
So good. So it's making my mouth water just thinking about it. Jamaican food. There was something really cool that would happen a lot. I noticed where it would be like something would happen in politics or like a big event would happen and there'd be a song about it on the radio like the next week.
Really?
Yeah, it was just like, we made a song about it, get it on the radio.
Let's go.
Yeah. I thought that was so cool.
Create
they
something,
just captured it and they
got
got it down. They put it out. It was great.
I'm going to guess soccer is the sport of...
I think so.
Maybe hurling, maybe cricket. Not hurling, maybe cricket.
Maybe.
I don't know. That's cool. I'm glad you got to do that.
Bobsled.
That's right. Did you watch Cool Runnings before or after? You remember that?
Yeah.
That was an awesome movie, Jess.
Yeah.
The Jamaican. Oh, rest in peace, John Candy, by the way. He was the coach.
Oh, that's right.
The legendary coach of the Jamaican bobsled team, folks. John Candy.
Camel comb, auburn hair, idle taxi, Leicester Square, like a lion in black, sends up the windows and leans on back. Honey's dripping from the trees, order me a soda water. Rifle swinging at my knees, order me a soda water. Send my castle in Nice, it's on a cold, on a beach, where a girl can move slow in a pace she wants to know. So I showed him my card, he was stunned by the scars, and he said, that ain't right, come on now baby, I hold you tight. Honey dripping from the trees, order me a soda water. Rifle swinging at my knees, order me a soda water. A we all know that this room late at night is where I'm keeping my candle bright. And I'll weave up these lines, green and thick, rutted vines. At the window they all grow, and all slick in the grass below. Where I run, not a care, oiled leaves in my hair, the trees. Order me a soda water. Baseball bat swinging at my knees. Order me a soda water. Honey's dripping from the trees. Order me a soda water. Rifle swinging at my knees. Order me a soda water. Order me a soda water. Order me a soda water.
I dig it, Jess. I dig it.
Thank you.
You just did a gig in Charlotte?
Yeah.
How'd that go?
It was fun. It was a little like songwriter in the round with
Yeah.
Abigail Dowd and Tyler Nail. It was nice.
What was that all about? Just was it another where people come to learn how to write?
No,
Or-
it was a show where we kind of, each person, you just sit across some, like we trade songs. And
Yeah,
it was a
in the
show.
round makes me think of in Nashville, the
Bluebird.
The Bluebird.
Right.
Yeah. So it was kind of that jam. I
Yep.
mean, was it okay?
Yeah.
Hillsborough's home. That's where you perform a lot. This thing says you have a gig in Pennsylvania.
You know what?
Is that
is
true?
not correct. I mean, I do.
Okay, folks, don't go to Millville, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, they sometimes confuse me with a different artist. There's a different artist named Jess Klein.
Really?
Yeah, and I think that she lives in that area, so they sometimes.
Okay, we don't want to say don't go to Jess Klein, the other Jess Klein show, but it won't be this
It
Jess
won't be
Klein.
me. You should go, but it's not me. I'm not really touring outside of. Well, I'm going up to Boston in the fall, but most of my touring's gonna be next year.
Yeah, I saw you just kind of have a smattering of things on the
Yeah.
schedule now.
Yeah,
And you are going to Boston. Any relation to Calvin, by the way?
I wish, but no.
Okay, people wanted to know that. So
No.
that's actually the only joke I actually prepared for tonight. All the rest of them, believe it or not, are just made up.
Yeah.
You're going to Boston. Besides Hillsborough and around here, where else do you kind of draw a crowd?
The Northeast, I normally tour up there once or twice a year, and a little bit in Texas because I lived there for a while,
Yep.
and the UK, Ireland, a little bit Germany, kind of like places
Yeah.
I've gone to a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that whole process of, let's say you want to go perform in Ireland, Germany, the UK, right there. Is it a promoter or a manager comes to you and says, hey, we have this opportunity? Or is it you or your management team or someone going outward? Tell me how that whole process kind of manifests itself to make an international trip.
Yeah, I
happen?
mean, it's a really good question. I feel like it could go a number of ways. I think that I got lucky because when that first album came out,
You got a fan.
hey, when that first album came out back in 2000, I was sent on tour in Ireland and the UK, opening for a band called the Willard Grant Conspiracy. So I kind of met some folks and musicians and agents and stuff.
I was sent, though. So someone said, Jess Klein, you're going to Ireland
Yeah.
for these months to
Yeah.
play these dates, opening
Right.
for this band.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think nowadays because, it's easier to get your music out there because, people put stuff out all the time on
Yeah.
Spotify and the internet and stuff.
Right.
There are sort of like, I would just do some research if you were an artist trying to get over there, like what are other artists in your genre doing? And I don't know. It's hard to say. I feel like I've met people kind of serendipitously, but
Yeah. But there is no one model today.
I wouldn't, no. I
It's
think
a
sort of-
combination of
Yeah, I mean, I think it always helps to just
Serendipity.
put yourself out there, and if you might as well ask
Yeah.
someone if they're interested, they can say no.
You get
Yeah.
used to hearing no. Like you
Yeah.
got to be comfortable hearing no
That's
when
right.
you're.
That's right.
Honey Magpie is playing at the Cat's Cradle, a band that we're fans of, and the singer lives in our neighborhood. One of their bandmates was like, and I kind of agree with this. It's just like talent is only a part of it. You could be the most talented band in the world,
That is
and
true.
maybe nobody hears you. That's kind of what I got from that.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that too. And just having this show, I've like sat down and you hear so many talented people, and then you see people that like have a huge following, and you're like,
Yeah.
how in the hell?
Yeah.
Why? Who's this for?
Someone told me about an interview with Garth Brooks where he said, you only have to get to like, I'm holding my hand up
Yeah.
at a medium level, this level of talent, like, don't put any more effort into your talent than this.
Yeah.
Above that, it's just hustle. He said,
Right.
I see people on the street corner all the time who are more talented than me.
Yeah. That's an example of someone, and, good for him, but he made a massive career on like 3 or 4 halfway decent songs.
Right. Yeah.
And, sold out arenas for decades and decades.
Yeah.
So the band we always start our show with, the Tan and Sober Gentlemen, I'm a big fan of them. They live around here. And actually, they just played the back. I'm pointing. Yeah, you're holding your hand up. I'm pointing. By the way, nobody can see us, but I'm pointing at the cradle. They just had a gig there but anyway, they're kind of one of these bands that plays to 100 and 200 people. And they had a whole tour of Ireland. And they just went. They had one distant family member who owned a pub, which is half the people in Ireland have a family pub. And and they just went and played it and then called the next one and went and played it and called it. I had them on my show. It was so interesting to me about how, like, talk about taking risk.
Yeah.
They were just like, screw it. And they're a big band. They have like 7 people in their band.
Wow.
They have one of them is a stand-up bassist. So they don't travel light.
Right.
I thought that was so cool that they did that.
Ireland does seem to be one of those places where you could kind of just show up and see what happened. I've done that a little bit there. And it's great. I mean, it's wonderful.
Oh, that is. And why do you have a song called Ireland? What's the, obviously the inspiration, but what's the...
Yeah, I was dating someone who was kind of obsessed with Ireland, but had a lot of sort of unresolved stuff in her own life. And Ireland kind of took on this meaning of a faraway, perfect place.
To where you wrote a song about it.
Yeah.
I think we need to hear it. I think folks are curious. I hope folks are curious. I am. Well, spoiler alert, I already love the song, but here is Ireland from Jess Klein.
Rain down by wine, circled round by smoke, your rosy cheeks take on a glow. You think I don't understand, but I understand. Sunny dreams born, leap into the air, then fade into smoke. You won't tell me where, but I know where. 'Cause in Ireland you say, oh, the air they breathe is clean. So I pray, I pray, I pray for the rain. Make me green. People that you love, they could always leave. They could leave the room, even when you're tugging at their sleeve. But the trouble is, they leave if you don't dare believe. When I said I was leaving, baby, had you already gone there? To Ireland you say, where the air they breathe is clean. So I pray, I pray, I pray for the rain. Make me green. Green enough to be your heaven, green enough to be your sea, greener than the rolling hills. Could you ever see that in me? Rain down by wine, circled round by smoke. All you talk about is where you would go. When you look at me, do you love this world yet? Or do
So you've got this deep catalog of material, right? I mean, 10 albums?
Yeah.
You know, that's 100 songs that are out into the world, not to mention probably others that you've made and demoed or whatever. So when you have a gig, how do you decide? Well, I mean, obviously you probably have to play the newest stuff or whatever, but how do you decide how far back to go in the catalog?
I try to just get maybe one or two from each era or something.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get better about playing older stuff more. That's why I was like, when you asked me for songs, I tried to name some older ones because you do kind of get stuck in, playing.
You did exactly what you said. You gave me a song from everyone was from a different album, I think.
Yeah.
So thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
Because I like going deep too. Do the halfbacks play any of the exact same? Is it completely a different set of material?
Well, we're working on creating a whole set of material together that we've co-written. So we've got probably 5 or 6 songs that are just things we've come up with together, and then we play some of each of our other songs.
When you're writing, how early do you know if it's a halfback song versus a Jess Klein song?
That's a really good question. I mean, Mike sort of gave me an assignment for one of the songs, so I sat down and I knew what I was writing for. Yeah, I don't know.
Mike husband?
Mike the husband.
Yeah. How weird would it be if the band broke up?
Be pretty weird.
You're like, wait a minute, hold on.
I think it's good that we were married first because we both have our own careers.
No, I'm just messing with you.
Yeah.
I was at a furniture store today, and the husband and wife run it together. So I don't know. It's just an interesting topic to me of husbands and wives working together and eating dinner together and having a family or whatever else together. So that'd be funny if you all broke up.
Yeah.
You're like, okay. And some bands have fight, but you go home and you're normal. I don't know. It could be like a movie. It could be like a Netflix show or something.
Right.
Oh my goodness. Jess Klein, what is the Folk Project?
Oh, the Folk Project is a folk music series based in New Jersey, and they've been doing a streaming series every Tuesday for the last couple of years, and I'm going to be performing a live stream for them Tuesday, August 9th.
Live stream?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not in person because you said Jersey.
It's in Jersey.
So you don't want to go all the way to Jersey just for that.
Right.
Are people still digging the live streams or?
Yeah, I think so. I did one about a month ago and I had a nice turnout.
Had a good turnout.
Yeah.
That's the one good thing that I think everyone was just yearning for live performance again.
Yeah.
But also we're all now used to being on a Zoom call or whatever.
Right.
I mean, I was on a call just for work this week with 2 75-year-old dudes. And it was totally normal for them to be on a Zoom. You know what I mean? A year ago, it would have been
right.
What is this?
Yeah.
So that's cool. That's the Folk Project. That's out of New Jersey. And then we also noticed that you, a lot of writing stuff, Jess. The Song Revelers Retreat in Maryland?
Yeah, the Song Travelers Retreat. So that's run by Wyatt Easterling, who's actually from this area. He's a great songwriter. And so it's going to be Wyatt, Abigail Dowd, and me. And we're going to teach a 5-day retreat in Eastern Maryland in October. And that information is at songtravelers.com.
I said reveler, but it's traveler.
Yeah.
Songtravelers.com, folks. Yeah. So what do you enjoy more? You do the songwriting stuff or performing live, or is it just all part of the package?
I love all of it. I love recording. I love writing. I love performing.
Yeah.
I just feel very lucky to do all of those things.
If you could pick anyone to write with, present company excluded, Mike, we know you're a wonderful partner. If you could pick anybody in the world to write with, do you have
oh man, living or dead, or they have to be alive?
Let's say living, let's say current, active, or dead. I don't know, whatever.
I mean, the first person that came to mind was Leonard Cohen.
Oh yeah.
I just would love to
rest in peace,
watch
Leonard.
His process a little. You
know? What a mind, right?
What a mind. Joni Mitchell.
Interesting dude. Yeah, Joni Mitchell. That's a good one.
Maybe also, I think passed away, but Willie Dixon, who wrote a lot of blues hits. So concise.
Yeah.
So that man could do wonders with 5 words.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But what's cool is there's a lot of up-and-comers that are out there man, we want to write with Jess Klein. So it's interesting to hear who you say you want to write with.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, believe it or not, we burned through an hour, Jess.
Wow.
Can you believe it?
No.
Nash Street Tavern, great place to go see a show. Oh, here's what I love about that little area. You got the barbecue joint.
Right.
You got the ice cream joint.
Right.
You got, now we don't have pets, but you got the pet shop.
Right.
And you got that wonderful bar right on the corner.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite streets in North Carolina. It's just got everything I love.
Yep.
Right lined up.
And Napoli pizza is there too.
New? Is that new?
They opened maybe like a year and a half ago. It was,
Oh
like,
my
during the
goodness.
pandemic. Yeah.
Oh, you get a barbecue dinner, you see a show at the Nash, and then you grab a Napoli after the show.
Yeah.
Is that where they're currently planning a Amtrak train terminal in Hillsborough?
They are?
You don't know? Okay.
I
It's
didn't know that.
it's one of those things that's been in the plans for like decades.
Oh, wow.
But
That's
and they're like,
exciting.
the city owns 12 acres just outside of town, and across the street from the Nash Street Tavern is that massive parking lot. Great that it's parking, but it seems like a perfect place for a Amtrak terminal. So,
Oh, wow. I'm
so obviously
excited.
that's not the news on the street, or you would have known.
No one told me that.
Yeah, I read the news like once a month. So, all right, let's get out of here. Anything else on your mind, Jess?
Thanks to everyone who's listening, and hope to see you at shows or at workshops soon.
Come out to a workshop, a show. If you've been always wanting to write music and you're like, man, how do I get started? Boom. Jonathan Bird and Jess Klein. And well, thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure. Thanks for having
It's
me.
really cool to meet you. And we're going to go out on another Jess Klein song. Take care.
Been looking at my city garden for almost 12 months now. I've been thinking about a bargain, about tearing that old fence down. The day that I moved in here, found a single rusted lawn chair and a note that said, go and get 'em, girl. Go and get 'em, girl. Set of keys in my hand for an empty room on a small but wild plot of land. When August came, there grew a billion weeds, shot out from in the core. I pulled till I fell to my knees, but those roots seemed to spread more and more. I waved the neighbors over, I said, please look this over. Shielding their eyes, they cried, go and get 'em, girl. Go and get 'em, girl. Turn back to their land. But my rugged green kept on pushing new life up to stand. I used to date a boy in Paris until I hit New York. And aren't we velvet petaled roses till we're up against the big sharks? Rooted on this island, my thoughts they started climbing, and it grew and grew. I would leave him there. I would leave him there, and then he let me go. He must have known that roots this deep. Only can bring forth one bloom to grow. Been looking at my city garden for almost 12 months now. I've been thinking about a bargain, about tearing that old fence down.